Hey everybody, this is Vin. In this topology, here's the thing which is we can say something new for us because we are continuing the things that we have done before. That was similar thing and repetitive task that we are doing, and it's building our muscle memory, and that's all things like to be make smoother the thought process and that concept. But in order of doing this all, we are continuing, and I'm adding the new thing, right? So that we are going to be do over here. So as you can see here, it is the two switches and four pieces, and end of that here it is a router. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to do the DTP, the dynamic trunking protocol, and this is the protocol which is going to be responsible for access port or trunk port. It's a based on the situation, it's a based on the scenario, which devices are connected to it, which kind of configuration we have to do it, right? So it's totally based on these all. Okay, so about these switches which are given over here, switch 1 and switch 2, there's when we configure that DTP that we call the dynamic trunking protocol, in that scenario, that's there's a thing that we call the dynamic desirable. When we configure like switch port mode dynamic, so there's three things come out, like in about this there are two things come out. When we do configure manually, so we put that the mode trunk, like switch port mode trunk, that we call the manual configuration, and the dynamic desirable, the auto and desirable. There's two things about that dynamic. So there's a dynamic desirable and dynamic auto. So in these situations, the switch 1 and switch 2, this is all about the command which I'm talking about. So end of that, that's all the given over there. On the basis of that, we are going to just make the result. Okay, so if switch 1 have dynamic desirable configuration that we have done administratively, which is a dynamic desirable, and here it is the administratively we have made auto, right? Dynamic auto, not desirable. So in this situation, the desirable want to become actively, it's want to become a trunk, right? It's actively want to become a trunk in case of dynamic desirable. But on the other hand, if here it is the auto, so in that case we will going to configure auto. So it's a based on next to it, like if the next device which is switch 1, so that will take over, that will change itself on the behalf of the next to it device, which is right here, the switch 1. So the if a dynamic desirable on the switch 1, which is going to be become a trunk, so the auto will going to be based on their result, so that will also going to be become a trunk. So in the first result, if we cross with the desirable and auto, so both devices going to become a trunk. Okay, now desirable and desirable, the switch 1 we have made the configuration like switch port mode dynamic desirable. In the same way we have done in the switch 2, switch mode trunk dynamic desirable. So in the both scenarios, in the both configuration, that will going to become trunk, because the dynamic desirable, which is going to be always, it's actively make itself a trunk. So in that case, both are want to make itself actively trunk. So on the behalf of that will going to become both in trunk. Okay, now the auto and auto, here's the another part. There's something different to it. The auto and auto, it's mean that there's nothing who's going to be make the decision about that. So in this scenario, the auto and auto, that will going to be become a access port, which is not going to be a trunk port. So point to be noted over here, the auto and auto will going to be always a access port. So both devices going to be act like a access port. The trunk and trunk, both are there, it's mean that they are going to be act like manually we have configured, the trunk to trunk. What about trunk and auto? So the trunk which is manually configured, but the auto which are given, which is the auto, the dynamic desirable, not desirable, sorry for that, but dynamic auto. So the dynamic auto will going to be make decision on the behalf of the next to it the device which is a trunk, configured as a trunk. So that will also going to be become a trunk. The switch 1 and switch 2 both are going to be a trunk. Okay, now what we have to do in the next is the switch, it's done. Now in order of, this is the thing that I want to tell you about the concept, what is the new thing that we are going to be do. But here's the thing that we have to make sure the PC1 and PC2, PC3, there's 4 PCs, right? Now we have to give it the IP addresses to dissolve, because when we hover over it, there's nothing about the IP addresses, but their MAC addresses are, because of there is a burn-in address and it's built in a NAC card. So here it is, we have to configure the IP address only. Then after we will going to be configure the access mode, then we will go forward for the DTP, and the end of that we will going to configure the R1 which are given over here, which is given over here, as you can see, R1. So one single route is there. Okay, let's proceed. The PC1 configuration that we are going to make for this as per VLAN 10, which is a sales department PC. So 192.168.10.1, which is a default IP address. I will get it a copy to it from this and I will put it over here. For the PC1 I will give it the 10. For the PC3, which is in a same VLAN, so let's go for this. Okay, the gateway address would be same for same VLAN, which is you can see right here, PC1 and PC3 are in the same VLAN. Okay, so not there, it would be 11. Yeah, now it's done. Now we can proceed with the PC2, which is in VLAN 20. So I will make some changes like 20 for this. Now here for this 10. That's done for the PC2. Now we can continue with the PC4. The same gateway address, that should be same, because that will going to be cross check itself from the router for the Inter-VLAN routing. So here's the thing that we have to make, so the VLAN should be same for the each VLAN. No, sorry for that, the gateway's IP address would be same for each VLAN. That is the thing. Okay, now it's done. Now we are okay, we done with the PC's configuration. Now we have to proceed with the switch 1. As we do always, we have to do the configuration. And okay, what is happening right here? Let's try to fetch to and tries to check to the domain server. In real, this is not a correct command, so it's not responding as per the CLI. So because of that, it's try to fetch or try to check to the domain server, and it will take time, so it would make you bother. So to prevent this thing, you have to do the hygiene that we are going to be do, and on the basis of that we can make sure what are the things that should be done before doing any configuration that we want to do. So yeah, and what we have to do for this, we have to wait, and because of this is happening, now it's done. Now we can proceed with dissolve configuration, which we have done. Okay, now we are in a global configuration mode. Now I will change the host name of this device, so I will put the switch one. Okay, switch one right here. Now service password, password hyphen encryption. Then after we can change. Okay, we were just bit moment before we were bothering with the time delay, so we are going to prevent these things. No IP domain hyphen lookup, right? Okay, then we can show the banner that we call the banner MOTD, and what we want to show, any kind of information or any kind of warning that you want to show for the unauthorized user. Unauthorized access is prohibited, like this. Okay, so line VTY, console first, console 0, and then password. Okay, password login, then exit. Now we can call it at a place. Okay, so count VTY 0 to 4, the password that would be same for this too, and login, then exit. Okay, now okay, so this is a basic configuration that we have to do before doing the configuration. Okay, so the basic thing that we have done with before leaving the device is a good habit: write memory. Okay, now the same configuration we have to do for this too. Okay, so enable conft configuration terminal, now host name, okay, which is the switch 2. Now the service password hyphen encryption with this. Now what we can do with it, nothing much, but the next would be the time prevention, the time delay that we face. To prevent this, no IP domain hyphen lookup would be good idea, you know. So lookup would be good idea. Now it's done with it. Okay, so okay, the next to it, the banner we have to show it there, banner MOTD. So banner MOTD, which banner I want to show the warning: unauthorized access is prohibited. Unauthorized access is okay. Now okay, so line console 0 for the console protection, and the password we have to put it as per same which we are doing with this Cisco. Okay, login and line VTY, which is 0 to 4, yeah, and then the password, which is the password would be Cisco, and login, then exit. Okay, do right. Now we can continue with the switch 1. Okay, so I will call the interfaces where I want to do configuration. So here it is, like switch. Okay, so one by one we have to do configuration. Like I have to call the interface, which is f0/2, and if I'm in, I will give the okay, so I have to give it the description about this, which is connected to the VLAN. So which VLAN is connected to VLAN 10. That's done. f0/2. Okay, so switch port mode access. So switch port access VLAN, which VLAN is connected to, so VLAN 10. That's done. Because before doing this kind of thing, like whatever we are doing, before that we have to put it the we have to create the VLAN, like VLAN 10, VLAN 20, likewise as per need we have to go through, and each VLAN that should be exist on each and every switches for best or better way to it would make the things too understandable for the switches. In case of trunking, access port, that all it will going to help to each other, right? So yeah, we have to configure this the way. So can exits, and we will call the VLAN. So VLAN 10 again, which is already created, name on it, which is the sales. Okay, so now it's done. VLAN, which VLAN I'm going to create, VLAN 20 on this device. I will name on it, which okay, so that for HR, and all are there. Now we can check this all. Do so VLAN brief, here it is, sales and HR. Okay, I just want to know what configuration with the access port we have done. So do so one. Okay, as you can see right here, the one single interface, which is f02, which is connected to the VLAN 10. Okay, all done. Okay, I'm going to leave this device to write memory. Okay, now both sides we have to do the same thing. There's nothing rocket science or something like this. Okay, what I'm doing, and one single switch to the both side I can do. Okay, so switch, okay, the interface, which interface, f0/3. okay, I mean description for the VLAN. Okay, so VLAN, which way for the VLAN 20. So f0/3. Okay, so switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN, which VLAN 20, and exit. Do so. Okay, both are there. Okay, do so. Okay, both are there. Okay, now you can leave this device, right? Do write memory. Okay, done. Now continue with this device. Okay, the interface. So the interface f02. First go f0/4. Okay, exit. So sorry. Okay, f02, if I'm not wrong, this is f02. Yes, it is. So I have to call the interface, which is interface f0/2. I'm in description. Okay, what is the VLAN 10 f0/2. Okay, Now the switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10. Now I will exit from this and I will call the VLAN. So VLAN 10, the name on it, which is for the sales, and again I will call the VLAN. So VLAN 20. No. Both are there now, VLAN 10 and 20. Yeah, here it is. You can continue with this 20. Okay, I have a name on it. For what? HR, right? Okay. So do so VLAN. Okay. Okay, 10 and 20 both are there. Okay, so F02 is connected to sales, right? Okay. Okay, so F04, this is time to connect. We'll switch to, this is F03, right? Okay, so interface F03. Okay, description, let's right here. Well, description. So okay, is there something I'm missing right here as per? Okay, let's continue. Description, this is for the VLAN, so VLAN 20, and the interface connected to F0/3. Close it. Okay, so right, switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 20. Yeah, both are there, and we're done with it. Okay, do so run. Okay, now do so VLAN. Okay, both are there. Now it's done. Okay, so now it's time to connect the interface where we are going to do the trunking stuff, right? So trunking stuff we have to configure right here, and then we will do the router part, right? Okay, so here's the thing that we have to make. So okay, first write memory. Okay, now we can proceed for the switch one, where we are going to create F01s for the interface, where we are going to do, so the interface, which is F0/1. In this interface we are going to put the description over here, the trunking. Okay, on F0/1. Okay, so switch port mode dy. Yep, that's done. So this is dynamic, it's a dynamic desirable, right? So switch port mode dynamic desirable, I'm done with it. Okay, so I will do for this too. Before leaving this device, I will exit and do write memo. Let's see. Okay, I will just check the interface what it is. This is F01, right? So do so interface which is F0/1 switch, right? Okay, what about this, the VLAN 10? Okay, no, it's right here in case dynamic auto. Okay, this is dynamic auto right here we have configured. So we can configure the which is the first one, as you can see, which is we have done with it. But if we can, if there's a need or something that we want to make it aware, that we have to do it like the manual configuration would be the great way to do, because that's if it's not, so that's a possible to compromise or something like that is not good for security, right? So yeah, because of that we are doing this all. So right here the dynamic auto, and if I will check for this on the same interface like F01. Okay, so do so interface, which is F0/F01. yeah, it's F01 with it. We are trying to check, right? Okay, dynamic desirable, dynamic auto. If I will put like this, and yeah, here it is. Like, this is for dynamic auto and this is dynamic desirable. In this situation, both are operational as a operating as a trunk. It's also operating as a trunk, right? As you can see right here, both are operating as a trunk. Okay, let me just make changes over here. What we can see, if we, what would be the result if I will do the configuration like the changes that I'm going to be making at same interface, like interface F0/1. okay, so I will call in that, and now I will make it the configuration switch port mode access, not access body. This is a dynamic desirable. Now I will exit from this, and I will again go with the command. Yeah, both side dynamic desirable and operating as a trunk, right? Yeah, this is the thing that we have to do right here, and this is a observation, and this is the like if both sides with the dynamic, so that will operate as a trunk too. If there's a one side dynamic or another side dynamic, or one side is auto, so that will also going to be act like a trunk, because that's actively want to become a trunk in case of dynamic desirable. When it's desirable, so in the both situation, in a dynamic there is two options, auto and desirable. So that auto, which is based on someone's or friend to it, and on their situation, on their mode or the environment, and but in dynamic desirable, the desirable is like it's actively want to become a trunk. So in these both situations, is going to be become a trunk itself, right? Yeah, let's proceed with the same one, right? If I will configure the auto, so definitely there's nothing about desirable or trunking and stuff, right? So it will going to become itself as access port, so it will going to act like access mode. Okay, so it will act on access mode. Okay, for let me just tell you. Okay, so it's like the configuration that we have to make always, the real configuration or the manual configuration we have to make always need to be made on the router, in between switch to router or any access mode like to PCs. So we have to make the configuration over there manually, right? So let's do this all thing too in order of this. Let's continue for the switch 2 for interface F04. So interface F0/4. okay, I will put the description as a good boy description, which is okay, trunk is connected to R1. Close it. Not done. Okay, what we have to do, we have to create to function this, right? So I will go with the manual configuration switch port mode trunk. So I will allow all interfaces, all VLANs okay, on this interface. So switch port trunk, okay, loud VLAN, which VLAN 10 and 20. There is nothing about the native, so there's no need to worry about that if it's not right. You have to go in a like frequent way, leave it, then do so. Yeah, here it is, the trunk. Okay, now whatever we will make the configuration on the router. Okay, I'm leaving this device right here. I will just give it do write memory, then leave it. Now here it is, we have to make the real configuration. I will just going to be make it I will create the sub interfaces, and the sub interfaces will going to be up when I will up the interface which is G00 first, which is, and this device is now fresh, quite new, so we have to do the basic configuration to it. So now let's proceed. Host name, which is the R1, that's done. Okay, then hyphen encryption, no IP. Okay, hyphen lookup, and then the banner MOTD, which banner unauthorized access. Access is prohibited. Unauthorized access is prohibited right here. And then line console 0, and the password for this like Cisco, then login. Now we can proceed with the next to it line. For the VTY, it's for the remote access all the way, like VTY, line VTY 0 to 4, and the password, which is the Cisco, and the login. Then login, it's next is exit ready. Okay, well, now it's time to call the interface. So I will call the interface G00. I'm in the description for this, creating description connected to switch 2 for what? For sub router on a stick, that we call for router on a stick, ROAS. Okay, now I will call it like the .10 for, so okay, so in cap, so listen in cap .1q .1q, which is 10, and then after for the IP address would be what, for 10 192.168, for then 10.1, then 255, okay, .1, then 255.255.2, 255.2. okay, well, that's enough, it's enough. Okay, now what would be next? In a same interface, now we can exit from this, but in a sub interface, which is I'll put it over here 20. So in cap This is for this 120, and the IP address a bit change we have to make it over here. That's done. Okay, then exit. I will make the interface up, so the sum of interface is going to up itself, right? Okay, interface G00 and okay, G00 for this, and then I will going to make it up. No shutdown. What's up? Okay, the next thing that we have to do in this device, I will exit from this and I will check do so IP face brief. Okay, both are there and both are up. Okay, do write memory. Okay, so the last configuration that we have done with it before, right, I think I'm done with this saving or configuration, but before that we have to do the verification of these all devices. So I'm going to ping from, I will ping from, okay, so PC1 to PC VLAN 20 second PC. So I will going to ping to the PC4. Okay, so for this 192.168.20.11, let's see how it goes. Okay, that's working properly. Definitely it will going to be pass well. Yeah, it is. If I will ping from this, okay, now one single device I can cross check for the whole. Okay, from 0, let's see. Well, it's working. It's for itself, but not. We are going to check the PC3. Yeah, all is well. Let's check for itself. Definitely. Now it's I think all the thing that is done now. What we can do next is we have to once we have to just save the all configuration on each device. Like, it would be a good idea. Okay, so do write memory do write okay do write memory. Okay, okay, now done.